Hey you all, so I'm going over week 5's assignment, Common Defenses to Negligence, and this is part 1 to my assignment. I'm going to talk about contributory negligence, and as you can see, my search was comparative negligence, and my jurisdiction I chose was Alabama, but in this case I found just the issue at hand was contributory negligence, so that is what I'll be talking about. In this case, it's Blue v. Nelson, and it is in the Court of Appeals of Alabama. Now, this case has two holdings and two issues at hand, but we will only be going over the one, number 2 of the holding, voluntary intoxication jury charge was warranted. So we're going to go over why the plaintiff brought about a claim questioning the contributory negligence claim on whether or not the plaintiff should have been held liable for their actions in drinking before driving. So going over the facts of this case, there was a driver who was named Johnny, who died in a car crash, and who was in a crash with a dump truck driver whose name was Joe. So Johnny was driving home from lunch with his wife after they had had drinks, and this drink was called the Bull. I feel like this was an interesting fact. And it had beer and 2 types of liquor in it, one including tequila. And his wife said that she felt too impaired to drive because of the alcohol. But so Johnny decided to drive home after they stopped at the liquor store. So that was another fact from this case. They had stopped at the liquor store after their lunch, and Johnny decided to drive home because his wife felt impaired, and they almost had the same amount of drinks, but Johnny had 1.5 drinks and his wife had 2.5 drinks. So it was a drink difference. And going down from the facts of the case, we're going to go and talk about the contributory negligence, I'm sorry. So here, the plaintiff tried to bring about a claim stating that the voluntary intoxication had the defendant had to prove that the plaintiff was truly, in fact, intoxicated before they could bring about a claim of contributory negligence. So it states right here, it is proper for you to consider whether or not the plaintiff was intoxicated together with all the facts and circumstances in determining whether or not the plaintiff was contributory negligent at the time of occurrence. So the plaintiff in this case tried to bring about laws from different jurisdictions in order to fit her claim, but the court decided that we find, however, in Alabama, the law is significant developed the issue at hand. So they didn't need any other jurisdictions' opinions in this case based on their law, but they already had a firm foundation in what it meant to be contributory negligence in an issue. So this is what the court found. When contributory negligence is an issue, a jury charge on voluntary intoxication is appropriate when there is evidence of intoxication because intoxication is relevant to the issue of negligence. So they have proof that the guy Johnny had had a few alcoholic beverages. So consumption of alcoholic beverages is relevant evidence of intoxication. So because he had had those beverages, then they had enough proof based on these case laws right here that in fact he was contributing to his negligence. If we go to page 104, actually it is on page number 103, and it talks about contributory negligence and how the plaintiff played a role in their own negligence. And also